guys being here, everybody that is. Not anybody's tuned in yet, but this is why we're doing it. Anyway, I'm your host, Dave Sims, out here killing it. Thank you for being here on this beautiful Saturday. Everybody, wherever you're from, out here in Tampa, it's hot as hell, but it's absolutely beautiful. The humidity is high, and it's awesome. I'm inside in the air conditioning. It's still even warm in here. But today, our whole entire show is going to be about fullbacks and Niners fullbacks, and we're going to compare the role of 1980 and 1990s fullbacks, not 49ers fullbacks, into the role today of Juice and whatnot. But there is there is some relation between some of these fullbacks, and then there's far distances. So we have some similarities. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting to see how Bill Walsh used his fullbacks in comparison to how Kyle Shanahan uses his. So, without further delay, um, some of these fullbacks that we're going to compare are very popular. Some of them not so much, but I'm going to go ahead and list everybody from 1980 forward. There's quite a few, and then I'm going to put them in order of rankings, at least the top 10. I don't remember exactly how many I have here, but I think it's about 10 or 12 from 1980 forward. But let's see. I have a lot of notes. Sorry if I'm going to be reading notes, but that's just going to kind of be how today's show is. I'm trying to get a lot of information out for you guys so you can actually see what a lot of the older fullbacks did in comparison to even Juice and some of the other guys that play currently. Um, so let's see. First was 1980 to 1983 was Earl Cooper. So he had 4 years, and he was technically listed as a running back at times, but he played fullback for Bill Walsh, um, just because that's how Bill Walsh wanted to use him. So in his career with San Francisco, he had 562 carries, 2,040 rushing yards. Hi, glad you're here, everybody. Glad you're here. Anyway, we're talking about Earl Cooper right this second. 562 carries, 2,040 rushing yards, 14 rushing touchdowns in 4 years, 212 receptions with 1,980 receiving yards. So very much he was used like Juice is used today. And that was in 1980 to 1983. So it's pretty interesting to see how Bill Walsh used fullbacks back then. Most of us know that Bill Walsh revolutionized football. So when Bill Walsh wanted a running back or a fullback that could run and catch, then we have the kind of modern day fullback that they use today, like Juice. Juice has more receiving yards than he does rushing yards, but we'll get to that. So let's see. Um, After Earl Cooper, next is legendary Roger Craig. And before you say he's a running back, he was transferred into a running back by Bill Walsh, but he was initially brought on as a fullback. He started in fullback in '83, and his overall stats are going to ruin everybody else's because of his halfback career. But here we go. He had 1,920 carries for 7,064 rushing yards. 50 rushing TDs with 508 catches. That's actually unheard of. 4,911 receiving yards and 16 receiving touchdowns. Roger Craig was the first player ever to have 1,000 receiving yards and 1,000 rushing yards in the same season. So that's incredible. But again, in that year, he was a running back, not a fullback, but he started as a fullback, so I have to put him on the list. Anyway, after Roger Craig, um, again, we all know he was running back, but he was a fullback. But let's see, that was in 1985. Next, next is my favorite fullback of all time, Tom Rathman, he was the first one that I met. I actually met in person. I don't want to say that I knew him. I watched him a lot in the spring training and stuff. He was the epitome of fullback to me, in my opinion. Obviously, that is an opinion statement, but Tom Rathman was absolutely amazing. Um, let's see. He had, I'm sorry, guys, he had 34 rushing touchdowns with 2,020 rushing yards, 320 receptions, 2,170 receiving yards, 8 receiving touchdowns. People forget he was one of the toughest lead blockers ever. Hey, what up, Cubs? Um, Talking about Tom Rathman right this second, cuz we're talking about fullbacks in general from 1980 and forward. Um, but anyway, um, Tom Rathman was an excellent pass protector, outstanding short yards runner. I mean, he was the epitome of fullback. He was a great receiver. He could dominate anybody. He made holes, he pushed bodies aside. With Tom Rathman, basically, if you needed 1 yard, he gave you two. That's just kind of how it was. Um, the next we're going to talk about is probably going to be William Floyd. William Floyd was from 94 to 97. So he also had 4 years, and he had about 500 rushing yards, 10 rushing touchdowns, and he was one hell of a blocker. Um, Now, he was also one of the biggest reasons. I believe it was the '94 Super Bowl. He was one of the biggest reasons that they were absolutely so dominant. Is he created holes in the '94 Super Bowl? He created holes obviously all that season, but he was incredible in that Super Bowl. Um, Next on the list is a forgotten star, in my opinion. I remember him. I mean, he didn't play that long, but I think he was 3 year. No, he was 4 years also. Fred Beasley. He was from 98 to 01. He had 84 carries for 260 rushing yards, 5 rushing TDs, 123 catches for 845 receiving yards. He had 5 receiving touchdowns, and he made 2 Pro Bowls. A lot of people thought that he was the blocking fullback. Like, in the whole entire league, they thought he was the blocking fullback at the time, around 2000. That says a lot, especially seeing how he was a 49er. Next, we have Terry Jackson. Terry Jackson was in 3 years, 2002 to 2004. Mostly known for blocking. He created holes. He had very few touches. Next after that was one season of Zach Kesey. Um, he was in '05. He was primarily a blocker and really didn't have any carries also. But the next one is one hell of a beast. He had 3 seasons. Morin Norris. He was an excellent lead blocker. He made holes for Frank Gore, and that was during my big time of freaking watching Frank Gore just destroy people. So his main thing was making holes for Gore. Um, you don't remember Zach Kesey? Anyway, I think everybody remembers Frank Gore. But Beasley had 38 catches for 237 yards, and mainly was just a destroyer for Frank Gore again. He had 37 carries for 144 yards. He had 1 rushing touchdown. And then after that, we had 2009 brought us Britt Miller. Now, this is a guy that a lot of people don't remember because he only played for a year. Everybody hears Miller, they think Bruce Miller, and that's actually who was next. But Britt Miller, we had for 1 year. He didn't really do shit, and that's why nobody remembers him. He was a good blocker, but he doesn't have any stats, so to speak of. So in 2011, we went a year without a fullback. 2011, we got Bruce Miller. Now, this is definitely an opinion, but he was probably one of the best fullbacks of the time ever. Um, Bruce Miller was a stud. He was probably the best fullback since Rathman. He had 52 catches for 522 receiving yards, meaning he averaged over 10 yards a catch. 6 rushing attempts, but he was just one hell of a blocker. He was a better blocker for Frank Gore than Beasley was. So Bruce Miller, absolutely incredible, but just one hell of a blocker. And he was mainly on during the Harbaugh years. He made the Pro Bowl in 2012. Um, yeah, but again, I think a lot of people are kind of misconstruing the Pro Bowl today to against what the Pro Bowl was years ago, and I think that's probably the biggest reason I'm even doing this live. Everybody says that Kyle Juszczyk has so many Pro Bowls and has been an All Pro, and that's why he's so good. But I mean, there's very few real fullbacks left, and you're comparing him to a very tiny market in comparison to what there used to be in the 80s and 90s. So that's all I'm trying to do is provide a little bit of spotlight on what these players used to be in comparison to what we have now. But next on the list after Bruce Miller is Kyle Juszczyk, who we got in 2017 and obviously still have now. Now, a lot of people are not going to like this, but I believe he's not a true fullback. If you compare him to like the real 44, Tom Rathman, um, he is his 49ers production. I mean, he has yards, but he only has in his whole entire career with the 49ers, which is what I think this is his 8th year, or he just did his 8th year. Now he's going into his 9th year, something like that. But he only has 200 rushing yards. He has 2,000 receiving yards and over 180 receptions, but as a fullback, those numbers just don't add up, especially in 8 or 9 years. Like it just doesn't. His numbers don't make sense. He's not used as a fullback. He's made multiple Pro Bowls. He's been a first team All Pro several times, but he's used more as a halfback or a slot receiver or a motion piece. I don't know. He's supposed to be a mismatch for the offense, or for the defense, but he's not your classic lead blocker. So that's kind of why I don't put Juice into a fullback position. He's more of a halfback or more of just kind of a distraction. Um, I don't I don't think he's a fullback. I don't even think he's actually very good on the field. I don't think his numbers add up to him taking a roster spot for 53 people. That may be cold. That may be hard to hear for some people, but I just think it's a fact. I think a lot of other people believe it's the case too. I think even actually you can go back. There's receipts when they cut him. I think Fred Warner and his wife were most excited, and then they re-signed him again like 4 days later. So there was a lot of people that were happy when they got rid of him, and then George Kittle was pissed off, so they brought him back. You got to have best friends in this team, or else you're just not a team. Doesn't make any sense. This is, but they're not a business, and they're not a team anymore. It's like they're trying to be one big happy family. But let's go back to some actual stats here. Let's see, what do we got? Juice is in an era where there's just not many real fullbacks left. But I guess out of all these stats, who are you picking if you were on 3rd and 1? If you need 1 yard, and out of all these guys that I just named, a lot of people, who are you picking to get 1 yard? Because I've seen all these guys, and I mean, maybe not. I haven't seen. I mean, what was it, Earl Cooper? I haven't seen. I don't remember a lot of Roger Craig. He was amazing. I've watched a lot of Roger Craig, but I didn't see it in person. But when you need 1 yard, who are you going after? I mean, personally, I wouldn't go for Juice. I don't think any of the defense is even distracted by him. I think the only reason he gets open is the defense, who have been quoted. There's been teams that have said, we don't even pay attention to him. We focus on 10 other players on the field when he's on the field. So that's the only reason he gets open is nobody covers him. It's decent sometimes. He gives us first downs, but I just don't think anybody gives him any respect. So again, if you're on 3rd and 1, who are you going after? Um, I mean, again, Warren, Bruce Miller, Juice, William Floyd, Tom Rathman. I would go for Tom Rathman. I mean, I think he was the toughest fullback ever. Uh, Now, again, there's not many fullbacks left, but for what Juice does, competing against a much smaller field in comparison to Rathman and Floyd and Beasley, like there's a reason why Juice is an All-Pro or in the Pro Bowl all the time. He just doesn't have as many people to compete against. Um, Now let's put them in order. Top 10 rankings. Just obviously, this is just these guys, 49ers fullbacks from the 80s. So I don't know if you guys are ready for this list or if you agree with anything I've said so far. But from 1980 to now, by stats, this isn't my numbers, this is from homework. Tom Rathman is the number one 49ers fullback of all time ever. Now, again, this is from 1980, but I'm going to say Tom Rathman is the best 49ers football fullback ever. Ever. I'm going to go before the 80s, even though I don't see him and I don't have numbers on him. I'm going to say Tom Rathman's the best. He is a 10 out of 10 when you rate him against anybody. He's the gold standard. He is a 2-time Super Bowl champion. He is one of the greatest blocking fullbacks ever. He's an excellent receiver. He's an outstanding short yardage runner. And he is the heart, I believe, of the 88 and 89 championship offenses. If you, like I said before, if you needed 1 yard, Tom Rathman got you 2. Second on the list, I don't know if you guys need time to digest the first one, but Tom Rathman should be a gimme. Second on the list is Earl Cooper. Earl Cooper, I guess, was Bill Walsh's original weapon, and a lot of people forgot that he caught over 200 passes while being a lead blocker. Before Rathman, Earl Cooper was the fullback. Third on the list is Fred Beasley. Some of us do remember Fred Beasley. He is probably the most underrated fullback that the Niners have ever had. He has 2 Pro Bowls. He's a great blocker. He's a great receiver. He's great in the West Coast offense, which was huge back then. Many lifelong fans still rave about Fred Beasley. Now, number 4 might be a surprise for some people. And again, this is stats. But number 4, by numbers, is Juice. It is Kyle Juszczyk. He is absolutely one of the best players at his position, but that is for today's NFL. Full stop. He's one of the best fullbacks at his position in 2026. He is not ever going to touch the fullbacks of the 90s and the 80s. Just not going to happen. Sorry if you disagree with this. But again, he is more of an H-back. Cub said it. He's more of an H-back. He's a motion receiver. He's a weapon. He's a chess piece than a traditional lead blocker. So that's why Juice's numbers are inflated. He's not a true fullback. Number 5 is William Floyd. He was one of the most complete fullbacks of all time. He could block, he could catch, he could run. He was crucial in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 29. He was. I mean, we don't win Super Bowl 29 without William Floyd. Number 6 is Bruce Miller. He's also underrated. He was a Pro Bowler. He was a fantastic blocker for Frank Gore. He was just, I mean, absolute stud. He played linebacker in college, so that's why he loved to hit people. And I think a lot of people forget about these old-time fullbacks. You know, they're not the household Jerry Rice name, Steve Young, Joe Montana, but these guys were incredible, and they were very, very integral into these teams going to the Super Bowl. So anyway, next after Bruce Miller is going to be Roger Craig. Now Roger Craig should probably be higher on this list, but Roger Craig is more of a running back, even though he started as a fullback. So a lot of his stats I can't really contribute to the fullback position. But he is one of the greatest running backs ever. I mean, ever, 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 ever. But he started as a fullback, and once he went to running back, that gave Tom Rathman the opportunity to be a starting fullback. Now, right there, Roger Craig moving to running back gave the opportunity for one of the greatest fullbacks to ever play the sport. I want to give Roger Craig a little pat on the back just for that, and Bill Walsh, because Rathman was a better fullback than Roger Craig could ever dream of being. Roger Craig was a halfback. Just how it goes. Number 8 on the list is Morin Norris. He didn't get the ball much. He's mostly was creating another, holes for Frank Gore. Frank Gore absolutely loved to run behind him, and he was an excellent, excellent, excellent lead blocker. Number 9 on the list is Terry Jackson. Terry Jackson was very, very solid player. He didn't get hurt. He was on the field. I don't think he actually ever missed a game. I don't think Terry Jackson ever missed a game. But he was, yeah, so I mean, very dependable. Mostly forgotten because the team wasn't doing good during those years. These best players that are on teams that are bad, you don't ever really hear of them, and that was Terry Jackson. Number 10 at the bottom of this list is Britt Miller. Again, nobody really remembers even Britt Miller. He was on another struggling team. He only played for 1 year, and he never really got the ball. So he was just a classic blocker. A lot of people don't remember the guys that were blocking for Gore. They don't remember the guys that created the holes for our halfbacks. They just remember the guys that scored the touchdowns, and that's okay. So I guess the biggest question of this show, everybody that is here, anybody that watches this, on down the line, is especially if you're a fan today or younger and don't know of the past, is what would you rather have? Kyle Juszczyk catching 30 passes, or Tom Rathman opening holes for Frank Gore to rush for 1,700 yards? I mean, I think receivers are all over. I think you can get guys to catch 30 passes. I don't think the fullback position is necessarily supposed to be a receiver. Not saying Tom Rathman didn't catch passes, but Tom Rathman got yards. Tom Rathman created holes, and if Tom Rathman played with Frank Gore, I don't know how many Super Bowls we'd have. And if Eddie D still owned this team, I don't know how many rings we would have, guys. So, I really appreciate everybody being here. I really wanted to get these stats out because I know how many people are in love with Kyle Juszczyk, and I know how many people are in love with this current team and this current regime. And there's just so many stats and so much history to this team that I just encourage people to go back and actually check out the 90s 49ers, even the 2000s 49ers, the 2010 49ers, when we weren't great. I mean, check out the teams. We've had great, great, great players on our teams, and the 49ers standard is the highest for a reason. Eddie D did not let our standards slip ever. He was absolutely amazing. I believe he fired Bill Walsh like 11 times. I watched that documentary thing that Tom Brady put together, and there was a lot of information in that. And if you haven't seen it, I encourage you to watch it. I believe it's called The Rise of the 49ers. Very good show. Anyway, Cubs, I agree with you. I think if Eddie D still owned this team, there would be no way other teams could really touch us most of the time. I think we would have 13 rings right now. That might be hyperbole. Maybe it's not. You guys, what do you think? If you were to have a football fullback, who would you rather have? Kyle Juszczyk, Tom Rathman? If you were actually trying to create a team, do you want Kyle Juszczyk on that team? Do you want prime Tom Rathman? Or Earl Cooper? Or Bruce Miller? Or, you know what I mean? William Floyd? Let me know, guys. Let me know. So, as I sign off, remember, this is Eddie D's Niners. Remember, the dynasty was built on highlights. It was built on, or it was not built on highlights. This dynasty was built on the highest standard ever. Not the highlights that we go back and watch. It was built on blocking. It was built on toughness. It was built on doing the job right and doing the dirty work. So, I'll see you next time. Like and subscribe. Appreciate everybody being here. Thanks.